A very good morning to all. I, Mr. Prashant, welcome all the participants for the awareness webinar on Money Resolution for Financially Healthy 2021, which is organized by Sanatana Sampradhisthana, Mysore, in association with the Rotary Club of Mysore West. Prayer is an action. It is the process of talking to God with energy in order to achieve a purpose. Let us begin this webinar by seeking the blessing of Lord Almighty. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha, Vignam Kurume Deva, Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Now, I request Dr. Ramchandra Seji, the Managing Trustee of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, to welcome and introduce the speaker of today's webinar, guest, and all the participants. Over to you, sir.
A very good morning, one and all. At the beginning, let me wish everyone, so all who are supported since last year to our the trust Sanatana Sampradhisthana, wishes everyone calendar Happy New Year. So I take this opportunity on behalf of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, Mysuru, to welcome today's speaker, Mr. V.R. Ayyappan, Chartered Financial Analyst, Financial Risk Manager, and founder mirafunds.com. And today's guest, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad MD, President, Rotary Club of Mysore West, Sri Lokesh CG, President, Dr. Shantrajaras and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, Board of Trustees, Sanatana Sampradhisthana. Finally, all the participants from various parts of the country. So Sanatana Sampradhisthana is a trust, is a non-profit organization situated at Mysuru, Karnataka, has been serving the society and supporting a noble cause since 2020. Since the time of its inception and through the process of its evolution, the sole essence of Sanatana Sampradhisthana Trust has always been for the benefit of the society, to guide, to help, to educate, to empower, and to enrich the knowledge of any individual or group of people. The trust provides a broad range of social services to all the categories of people. These services are available regardless of age, religious preferences, gender, economic status, etc. Some programs that Sanatana Sampradhisthana is associated with, which includes Research and Training Institution, a Skill Development Center, Coaching Center, Employment Center, a Sports Academy, Cultural Academy, a Meditation and Yoga Center, etc. And coming to today's speaker, Mr. V.R. Ayyappan, let me introduce him. So Mr. V.R. Ayyappan holds a Chartered Financial Analyst from CFA Institute of USA, Financial Risk Manager certification from GIRP USA, PGDM majoring finance from Christ College Institute of Management, Bangalore. He has 13 plus years of professional experience spanning across investment consulting, financial research, and asset management. He strongly believes in the concept of financial freedom and advocates the concept of financial freedom. He is helping more than 400 clients spread across 500 countries in their path of achieving financial freedom. He founded mirafunds.com, an online mutual and distribution platform which allows individuals to invest with ease. He conducts regular financial training programs for individuals and corporates, and also posts financial articles in financial websites. So this is a brief introduction about today's speaker. And today's coming to today's topic, financially healthy. So we should understand what is the finance first. The finance is defined as the management of money and includes activities such as investing, borrowing, lending, budgeting, saving, and forecasting. So financial health is a state and stability of an individual's personal finances and financial affairs are called their financial health. Typical signs of strong financial health include a steady flow of income, rare changes in expenses, strong returns on investments, and a cash balance that is growing. So financially healthy means successfully managing all aspects of their financial life. They have good to excellent credit, a handle on debt, an emergency savings fund, and are on the right track for retirement. So the major 5 rules to improve your financial health are: the first one is do the math, that is net worth and personal budgets. The second one is recognize and manage lifestyle inflation. This is very, very important for the present situation. The third one is recognize needs versus wants and spend mindfully. So this is also very, very important. The fourth one is start saving early. The fifth one, build and maintain an emergency fund. So this is the introduction about the today's topic. The basic intention to organize today's awareness webinar on money resolution for financially healthy 2021. So all of we have with pandemic situation, with percentage of salaries, everything. So at least in 2021, so we can the plan accordingly so that we can achieve the financial health. And main intention is to provide the information about how to achieve financial health. The today's speaker will speak about the various ways or mantras to achieve financial health. So with this brief introduction, I wish all the participants will have fruitful interaction with the speaker. Once again, thank you one and all. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. V.R. Ayyappan, Chartered Financial Analyst, Financial Risk Manager, founder, merafunds.com, to start his session. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Prashant. Good morning to one and all. And thanks, Dr. Ramchandra, for your nice introduction. And this is a very useful topic at this point in time.
Yes, need of the day, need of the year.
Doctor already mentioned 2020 was a bad year for most of us in terms of financial, especially this one big loss in terms of pay cut or escalation in healthcare costs, those kind of things. And many of us were not prepared for such a pandemic situation, which affected financially most of us. So today I will share my presentation. And also, it's my pleasure to be associated with Sanatana Sampratishtan. They have been spreading knowledge on various topics. It's my pleasure to be part of their program today. Okay, so let me share a presentation. I think I need to have the rights to share.
Yes, yes,
yeah,
I have created.
Yeah. Okay. Right, slide visible, right?
Yes.
So I'll run through this presentation. I have kept it very simple so that everyone can easily understand. These are certain do's and don'ts for a financially healthy life. Okay. And any questions during the presentation, feel free to put it on the chat box, message on the chat box. And post presentation, you can unmute and we can discuss and I can clarify your questions. Great. So all set for this presentation, money resolution for financially healthy 2021. Okay. So recently there was a financial resolution study conducted by Fidelity. Okay. And they found out the reason what motivates people for a money resolution as we get into the new year. And the 4 important points which came out is, first is getting control of daily expenses. So many people, the motivation for money resolution as they get into 2021 is to get control of their daily expenses. Okay. The second important point which came out as a motivation for resolution, money resolution, is eliminating financial worry due to unforeseen expenses. In 2020, many people ended up spending on medicals, which was not planned. It was an unforeseen expenses. So they were not prepared for those kind of unforeseen expenses. So many people motivation for money resolution as they enter into 2021 is to eliminate financial worry due to unforeseen expenses. And third is living a debt-free life. So most of us, we are now, we are got into different kinds of debt, be it a home loan or be it a personal loan or a consumer loan, right? So that puts a lot of pressure on us. It adds a lot of stress in our life. Okay, so one more motivation for money resolution is they wanted to live a debt-free life. Okay, and the fourth important point was peace of mind. So to sum it up, if someone wants to have a peace of mind or a stress-free life, okay, they should know how to manage their money, and they should make sure that they are prepared for unexpected things. Okay, they don't have much debt, and they are in control of their daily expenses. So if you take care of these three things, then peace of mind will automatically come, right? Now, when we speak about wealth, there are two key aspects. One is you protect what you have it already, and the second is grow your wealth, right? So one is like, I have a car, so I have to insure the car so that I don't have to spend much money if there is any accident. So you have a income. How do you protect your income flows, right? So those kind of things is about protecting what you have it. And the second important aspect is how do you grow your wealth. So our resolution today would revolve around these two key aspects. So first is secure your family financial well-being. Okay. So this is by Jack Ma. Okay, richest guy, one of the richest guy in the world. So if you see his quote, buying insurance cannot change your life, but it prevents your lifestyle from being changed. An illness can wipe up an entire family savings that they have saved for decades by the medical bills. You will not run bankrupt because of buying insurance, but if you will cause your loved ones to turn bankrupt if you don't. This is a very powerful statement if you introspect. Okay, today everyone has insurance, but the biggest question is whether do you have insurance, appropriate insurance? That is the biggest question, right? So many times when I speak to people or when I meet across clients, okay, they tell nothing bad will happen. I will live long. So everyone would like to live long. Okay, but don't be a fortune teller because we don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? So you should be prepared or your family should be protected if something bad happens. No one expects something bad to happen, but we should be prepared if something bad happens, right? So don't be a fortune teller, right? So the whole concept is simple logic. So today, if you are earning 5 lakh rupees per annum or a 10 lakh rupees per annum as a salary, if tomorrow you are not there, will your family still get that 10 lakhs? If yes, you are adequately insured. If no, you are not adequately insured. Simple logic. So just take your whatever is your annual salary. If you are earning 10 lakh rupees, okay, you are 30 years or 40 years. If in case you are not there tomorrow, will your family will get enough insurance for that? Then you are well secure. Okay. And many people have this wrong notion, just I have an insurance policy, my life is secured. Having an insurance policy is different. Having life secured is totally different. Okay. So I can have an insurance policy which covers 1 lakh rupees as a sum assured. So if something happens to me, my family will get 1 lakh, which is not even my 1 month salary. Okay. So you need to always make sure that whether you are enough protected in case of your absence, your family is well protected so that they can comfortably live all their life. So there is a beautiful product called term insurance, okay, which I keep telling on all my presentations. So focus on buying a term insurance. You get a coverage of 1 crore for 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000 depending on your age. Okay, if you don't have term insurance, most probably you are not covered your risk adequately. You might have 10 insurance policy, okay, but there is high chances that you may not have covered your insurance requirement even with 10 policies if you don't have one term. Okay, so just take care of that. So have a term insurance. Try to get your financial risk covered so that your family would not suffer in case of your absence. Second financial resolution is adequate health insurance. Okay, so this year many people have spent money on medical bills, and most probably once many people who are hospitalized, they end up if they were in ICU, they would have ended up paying 50,000 to 75,000 per day. So if someone was in a hospital in an ICU for 5 days, their bill would have been around 3 to 4 lakh rupees. And many people were not prepared for such an expenses, and they did not had enough reserves. So what happened? They end up taking loans. They're using credit cards to pay those bills, which will add second layer of stress. Okay. So had they taken a proper health cover of 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, which should have costed them just 15,000 or 20,000 rupees per annum for the family, these surprises would not have come. Okay. Insurance is not an investment product. When you invest in insurance, you are covering your risk. Don't expect any return from insurance. Okay. So it is very advisable to take health insurance. Generally, people who have crossed 40, 45, it is a must, because all health issues will slowly prop up as you get older. So if you don't have an health cover, then you might end up selling your assets, or you might end up borrowing money to finance your health cost. And in India, on average, health cost is increasing approximately 10% per annum. So the health inflation is higher than the regular inflation. So normal inflation in India is 6 to 7%. That means on average every year 6 to 7% the price increases, the cost of goods increases. But health cost is increasing on average close to 10%. So you should be prepared for higher medical bills going forward. So have a right health cover. Third resolution is insure your valuable assets. Okay, this we do whenever it is required by the government or by the regulators. We take car insurance because it is mandatory, right? So similarly, whatever valuable assets you have, you can insure them. For business people, they can insure their business assets, right? So you have lot of insurance product on general insurance side, which can protect the valuable assets. You can insure your house against bad weather or earthquake, those kind of scenarios. You can insure your car against accidents. So these will protect or avoid unforeseen big expenses whenever a bad event happens. Okay, if you have not taken a car insurance, if anything car gets broke, you have to pay from your pocket. So when you have an insurance, at least you will not have a big expenses going out of your hand, right? So these insurances, whatever we have discussed till now, life insurance, health insurance, or asset insurance, these are not a product where you go and look for return. These will protect your downside risk. The whole purpose is something bad happens, at least you will be in a position to manage with a small premium, whatever you are paying, right? So fourth financial resolution is always have an emergency fund. So now this year especially, I come across many people, okay, even small business enterprises whom I interact, okay. So those guys have got into trouble because they did not had enough liquidity to manage tough times. So when their business were running normally, they were getting income and they were making all their expenses. But suddenly when the 2 months or 3 months, they did not get any income, they were not in a position to manage their expenses. So this is more of a liquidity problem. So most of us, even like employees, we went through a pay cut during this last year, right? So we had a 50% pay cut, we had a 80% pay cut. So when there is a pay cut happening, we may not be, if we don't have enough emergency fund, we end up using credit card. We end up taking personal loan, right? Which will push us into bigger problems. So had we maintained an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months at least, we would be well isolated. We might not have ended up getting into loan. So what is the thumb rule? So we generally tell to have a 3 to 6 months of your expenses as your emergency fund. So that means at any point in time, if for this example, I have taken 50,000 as a monthly expense for a family. So if your monthly expenses is 50,000, assume 6 months you will keep the reserve. That means at any point in time, you will have an emergency fund of 3 lakhs. What is the purpose? If in case your income stops for next 6 months also, you will not panic. You don't have to go and borrow money. That is the logic. So always make sure that you maintain 3 to 6 months of expenses as an emergency kitty. Okay, which should be in the form of liquid form, which can be accessible anytime. You can invest in, mutual funds. You can keep it in bank FDs, short-term FDs. Wherever you want, you can keep it. The whole purpose is whenever you want money, you should be in a position to take it out. It will not push you to borrow money. If you have enough emergency fund, whenever you are in need, you can take it from that. You will not be forced to go and borrow money. That is the whole purpose. Okay, and emergency can happen for any reason. One can be a loss of job or a pay cut where income stops. Or the another side, there can be emergency because someone in the family needs money due to emergency situation, or it can be a medical emergency where you need to put money from your pocket. So can everyone mute yourself? Yeah. Next, 5th resolutions. Avoid too many credit card and bank. So they generally have 4 accounts, 5 accounts, 6 accounts, and they have too many credit cards, 5, 6 credit cards. Okay. Try to control, try to reduce, or have only necessary bank accounts and credit cards. Why? So most of the bank accounts today, they ask for a minimum balance. So if you have 5 accounts, each bank account might have a minimum balance of 5,000 or 10,000. So your money is simply parked at 2% or 3% in your savings account. You are not generating any return. And there would be annual maintenance expenses. Okay, so you will end up paying some expenses. So try to have only 2 accounts or 3 accounts. Don't have 10 accounts. Unnecessarily, one is it's very difficult for you to monitor, and there is a cost of having each and every account. Okay. And the second thing is too many credit cards. So I see many people having 3 cards, 4 cards, or 5 cards. They keep rotating from one card to another. So if you start doing that, it's just a matter of time. At some point in time, you will get into credit card debt. And most of you know that credit card generally charges you 1.5 to 2% per month, which is equivalent to almost 18 to 24% per annum. That means 1 lakh, if you borrow money on credit card, you will pay almost 25,000, 25% as interest in 1 year. On the other side, your bank FD, if you put 1 lakh rupees, you get 5% interest. That means in 5 years, you will get 25,000. Getting the logic? If you put an FD today, you are getting 5% interest. So if you put 1 lakh, you will get 5,000 as interest every year. So for 5 years, you will get 25,000 interest. On the other side, if you take a credit card, 1 lakh is the outstanding bill. Okay, and you pay in 1 year, your charges will be close to 25,000. So bank will take 1 year, whatever outstanding on 1 lakh, which they will repay to you in 5 years. Okay, so don't go for credit card unnecessarily. Credit card is a very good instrument. You get launch access, you get rebates, you get discounts. All the things are great, but have 1 or 2 cards. Okay, whichever you feel good. If you are a traveler, look for a travel card. If you want to go for an online purchase, look for a card which gives you online benefits on rebates. Okay, have good cards, 1 or 2, and control it. Don't end up taking loan on credit card, or don't get into a situation where you cannot repay your credit card debts on time. Okay. Next is avoid personal and consumer loans. Okay. So personal and consumer loans. What are personal and consumer loans? See, whenever what is happening, bank loans, this is one important thing. Debt is a product that has been sold to us with such reputation and intensity that most people believe that they cannot live without it. So now let's see how many people are debt free in this presentation. How many people don't have even one loan? Can I have some chat messages? How many people have zero debt? That means no loan today. I don't even have one loan. Can I have anyone? Okay, how many people have only one loan? Just feel free to put the answer. How many people have only one loan? Be it home loan, car loan? No loan. Great. So very rare we can see today someone who doesn't have any loan. Otherwise, everyone will have loan. It is only the question is how many loans we have. Some people will have 2 loans, some people will have 5 loans, some people will have 10 loans. Okay, because what is happening today we no instant loan. We like a 10 days process. You have to take all the documents and go. Today bank is selling you just over phone, they will give you loan. You just log into your internet banking, you will have loan. So they have been selling loan left, right and center. But please don't make this mistake that just because you are getting loan, you have to take it. You take loan only when you need it. Don't take loan just because someone is offering. I come across many people who just borrow money because someone has offered them. Don't get into that. It is a very expensive thing. You don't know what you are getting into. You are getting into a big trap by taking. Avoid all bad loans. So what I mean by bad loans, that means there is something called good loans. So I will tell you what are good loans and what is bad loans. Okay. So, but wherever possible, try avoiding taking any loans. Okay. Because you have to pay interest on it. Now, what is good and bad loan? If you are taking a loan, it should result in any of these 3 things for it to call it as a good loan. What? You buy a loan, it should help you to earn more. Okay? Or you buy a loan to buy an asset which will increase in value. Or you are buying a loan on which you get tax benefit. If any of these 3 it's a tick, then the loan at least can be justified. Okay. Now let's see example. Now education loan, if I take for my son, okay, whenever I am taking an educational loan, whenever I am taking an educational loan, what will happen? My kid's earning ability will increase. So the income booster will happen. Now assume you want to go and take a bike, okay, or you want to buy a car. If you are a marketing guy, okay, you buy a bike and you will be able to reach out to 10 people or 15 people more. You will be able to make more sales. Okay, then it can help you to earn more money because you buy a bike. If you are a marketing guy, then it can be an income booster. You buy a bike loan or you buy a car loan, and that car loan is helping you to earn more money. It's a good loan. If someone is driving a taxi, right? They go and take a car loan to drive. You use the car for taxi purpose. So they are earning more money on their loan. The purpose of their vehicle loan is totally different from what we are taking, right? A taxi driver taking a car loan is a good for him because it will help him to boost his income. So whatever you are buying, first question is, if I take this loan and buy this asset or invest in this product, will it help me to boost my income? If it is yes, then consider taking loan. Otherwise, second should appreciate in value. Now I buy a car, what will happen to car? Car will depreciate. If I am using for taxi, then it will be an income booster, right? If I'm not using for taxi, but I'm using for my personal use. So I buy a car, then what will happen? Car will depreciate. If I buy a house, there is high probability it will appreciate. So home loan makes sense, right? If you borrow money and buy a gold, there might be a possibility it might appreciate, right? You want to buy gold for your daughter, or for 10 years or 15 years down the line, you want to accumulate from now onwards. So you have taken some loan to buy gold. It might appreciate, right? So any asset which is going to appreciate can be a good loan. taking a business loan, the interest is tax deductible. Whenever you are taking an education loan or a home loan, the interest expenses is tax deductible. So that is little bit positive because your cost is coming down. So it might make sense. So always look for these three factors. So Nandini has asked one question, borrowed from relative site loan, will it appreciate? So at least when you are buying a site or a land, generally land will appreciate with respect to inflation in the long run. Okay, so it makes sense. Okay, but it also depends on what is your loan interest and what is the rate at which land appreciates. If I am paying 20% or 15% for my loan, and if the land appreciates only 5% or 6%, it doesn't make sense. Okay, if the land has potential and land will appreciate more than the loan, it makes sense. Okay, it's an individual call, but you need to analyze. I'm giving you the framework so that you can make your initial decision. Okay, easy, understood? So look for all the loans what you have, see which is good loan and which is bad loan. If you have bad loans, try to reduce it. Next is spend on needs and control on wants. Okay, you need to have a clear understanding between needs and wants. Okay, so needs is I need to have this. I have to send my children to a nice school, right? So then I have to live in a good place. So these are all needs. Now wants can be what? So I need to, like, I want to go to a movie theater. If I'm going in a monthly once, it's fine. But if I'm going 4 times to a shopping mall, then it might end up in wants. Wants are things you can live even without them. I want to have an exotic foreign trips. So I borrow money or use credit card to go for an foreign vacation or an expensive vacation. Or I buy some dress material which I rarely wear in a year. So you end up spending 8,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees on one particular dress which you hardly wear. Right? So there might be a needs and wants. So you need to know what are your needs and what are your wants. Spend money on needs. Okay, I'm not telling you should cut down on your needs, but on the other side, control on your wants. So this is a famous quote by Warren Buffett, one of the famous investor. Okay, if you buy things you don't need, not want, if you buy things you don't need, soon you will have to sell things you need. Okay, that means what? If you are buying things which you don't need, means if you are spending money on your wants, soon you will have to sell things which you even need. Okay, so always know this difference. Whatever spending you are doing, put it in two baskets. Is it my need? Is it my want? Okay, if you feel it is want, then try to control it. If you feel it's a part of need, I need to have it, without this I cannot live, or without this it's not comfortable for me, then you buy it, right? But on the want side, try to cut down. So don't just save, invest. Okay, what is the difference between saving and investing? Many people think if I save money, I am investing. Okay, there is a huge difference between saving and investing. Okay, saving, you are just making your money secure. Okay, investing, you are making your money grow. Okay, assume you are getting a salary of say 50,000. So out of 50,000, you spend 40,000 and 10,000 you are saving. That money, if it is lying in the bank account, it will be generating you 1%, 2%, whatever is the interest rates based on the savings bank account. So that is not investing, but you need to deploy that money in a place which can earn a higher return. That is investing. Okay. Invest smartly. Ninth resolution. Whenever you are making an investment, always invest with a goal in mind. It can be like, you want to travel for a vacation. Okay, plan for it and build accordingly. You want to buy a car. Invest, save, invest, and then go and buy a car. Don't buy a car and on loan. Next is, you want to buy a house. Try to save and try to go and buy. Whatever, at least your component should be higher. The loan component should not be 100%. Now I come across many people where they buy a home loan up to 90% or 100% of the house. So that should not happen. So I understand that you cannot save and buy entire 100% on your own, but at least you should put 30% or 40% of your savings into a house. So if you are buying a house for 1 crore, you should put your money 30 lakhs. 70 lakhs you have to borrow money. You should not end up going and borrowing entire 1 crore just because bank is lending you. Okay. And then is for kids' marriage, kids' education, or your retirement. Whatever you want to, whatever goals you have, first you determine your goals and then invest. Why it becomes essential? Assume if you want to buy a car in 3 years, so your investment horizon is 3 years. Okay. So the investment product which is suitable for you for 3 years is totally different. Whereas if you want to plan for your retirement, you are now 35 years or 40 years. Your investment horizon is 25 years. Okay. The investment product which you can choose for 25 years is totally different. You're getting? So when you have your goal in mind, you know what is the time horizon of that goal. Once you know the time horizon, then you can select a suitable product which can help you in that time horizon. Okay. Otherwise, you are just putting money here and there, so you might not end up landing anywhere. So whenever you are putting a money, always invest with a goal in mind. First thing is that. And what we call it as a SMART goals. Okay. One is specific. You should be like, I am investing this money for retirement. I am investing this money for kids' education. That is your specific goal. Measurable. Next is how much you require. Now, many people come and tell, I bought a one policy where, I'll be getting retirement income every month, 15,000 after 20 years. What is the value of 15,000 after 20 years? Okay. Until you know how to measure how much money you require, you are not making any justification for your investment. Okay, I'm investing in a retirement product doesn't mean that your retirement is secured. I can invest in retirement which gives me 5,000 rupees after 20 years or 5 lakh rupees after 20 years. Okay, so you should know what is your lifestyle, what is your current cost, and how much you require. Will that investment give you that much of cost? For simple example, today if you are spending 50,000 and you are in 40 years, by the time you become 60, with an inflation of 6%, you would be requiring 1.5 lakhs a month. Okay, to have the same lifestyle as of today of 50,000 rupees. Okay, you buy a product today which tells you after 20 years they will give you 15,000 retirement income. What is the value of 15,000? It will not even serve 10% of it. So any goal now, kids education today it's costing 10 lakh rupees for an engineering or an MBA. For a course it will cost you 10 lakh rupees for an MBA course. 20 years back it was costing only 2 lakh rupees. Next 20 years down the line it will cost you almost 50 lakh rupees. Okay, so if you are getting 10 lakh rupees after 20 years, it's not worth it. If you have a newborn baby, if you have 10 lakh rupees is the today's MBA program, when your kid comes to MBA, it will cost you 50 lakh rupees. If you plan for 10 lakh rupees, it will not be anywhere justification. So if you don't measure it, you don't know really whether you are in track. Next is attainable. So I come across many people, okay, who come for me for, plan their retirement, and they come at the age of 58 years or 55 years and they want to retire in 60. In 3 years or 5 years, you cannot plan for your next 30 years. No one can give you a plan which can help you to, be comfortable for next 30 years on your 2 years or 3 years savings. So whether it is attainable, so you need to be thinking from day one whether you have a realistic goal. Okay, realistic and attainable. These two are important. So many people come to me on the last day and tell that, when your kid is 16 years old and next 2 years you want 10 lakh rupees, you cannot make an investment plan for it. You can make an investment plan when your kid is 2 years or 3 years because you have 15 years horizon to plan. But next year, if I want money, you don't have any plan. You have to arrange 15 lakhs. Okay. So whenever you are looking for a specific goals, look for this, whether it is attainable, whether it is realistic, and it is very timely. Okay, have all your goals, put your retirement goal, how much you want, okay, how many years you have left, how much you need to put. Here, when you make this exercise, what will happen? At least if you don't put enough money, you know that your retirement is always under problem. So at least you know that you have to save enough, or you have to work for longer period. Otherwise, suddenly one day at 58, you feel that no, I cannot retire. Okay, that will be the case. So it will be a big surprise for you at a later stage. So at least at 40, if you are not investing enough, you can be mentally prepared. I want to work till 65. I have to work till 70. Right? So if you are not mentally prepared at 60, you suddenly see I don't have enough money. It becomes very big difficult. Getting? So always invest to beat inflation. So India's long-term inflation has been close to 6%. That means what? On average, around 10 to 12 years, your cost has doubled. Okay. So that means if you are buying a product for 50 rupees 10 years back, now it is 100 rupees. So there was a property for 30 lakhs 10 years back. Today it would be 60 lakhs. Okay. So 6 to 7% is your inflation cost. So on average, every 10 to 12 years, the cost of expenses, your expenses will double. So today, if you are spending 50,000 rupees monthly, you can just think 10 years back how much you are spending for the same lifestyle. You would have been probably spending somewhere 20,000 to 25,000 a month. Okay. So if you are spending 50,000 today, after 10 years, how much you will spend? It will be double. Okay. So you will end up spending 1 lakh rupees for the same lifestyle without any upgradation of your lifestyle. So invest in right assets. Whenever you are making an investment, you can invest in gold, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in stock market, or you can invest in bank FDs or bond funds. Whenever you are making an investment, just don't look at return. This is one big problem everyone has. Everyone looks at what is the return I will get, what is the return I will get. Okay. Your investment should look into all these factors. Return, what is the volatility or risk, we call it as in finance. So if your investment horizon is 2 years, okay, you cannot take high risk. Okay. If your investment horizon is 2 years, even you cannot put money in your real estate, you cannot put in your gold, you cannot put in your equity markets. Why? Because all this in 2 years, liquidity may not be there in your real estate. Gold and equity both can be highly volatile. Okay. So right, just because a return someone tells 12% you will get or 15% you will get, you should not blindly go and put that money. If your horizon is 2 years, it may not make sense for you. Okay. So for example, if you want to plan for your retirement, and many people have this notion of investing in, say, real estate for their retirement. So many times it's possible that you will not be able to sell your land when the need comes to sell. Your land value might keep going, but at your retirement, you require cash flows. So if you are investing in an asset which doesn't give you liquidity or cash flow, and when you need cash flow, it is not a suitable asset for you. Next is, what is the loan you can take against that asset in case if you at all want it. Then is, what is the taxation impact you have it. Now, many people have bought land for 20 lakhs and they have sold at 1 crore. When they sell, there is a capital gain which comes into picture. You buy a share or a stock, when you sell, there is a capital gain. When you have a bank FD, the interest, whatever you are getting is tax. If you are in 30%, you are paying 30% tax on it. Okay. So every asset, what you are putting has a tax impact. And then unique preferences. Now I have clients who are like more Islamic clients. So they want to invest only in Sharia product, Islamic product. There are certain clients, they come and tell that, they will not invest in any companies which are making cigarettes or, liquor or pork, those kind of things. So you might have your own specific preferences. Now there is a new concept which is coming called ESG funds, environmental, social and governance fund. So many people invest in these companies which are highly environmental friendly, social friendly and high governance company. So if you are an investor who prefers specific theme, you can invest in those kind of themes. But whenever you are making an investment, don't blindly look at return. Return is just one part of it. It should match up your risk. It should match up your liquidity. If recently I came across someone who is 60 years old. They have taken an insurance policy for 5 years where they pay premium. Okay. And 5 years they cannot touch their money. So there is no liquidity for them at 60 years. If they get into this product, they cannot, if they want money, they cannot take that money for next 5 years. Okay. So getting into a wrong product at wrong time will hurt you very big time. So always when you are looking at investment, look for all these aspects. Final resolution is have financial coach or a mentor. Okay. So what has happened is here, finance is a profession. So I want to just emphasize it. It is like any other profession, like, doctor or an engineer. Now I can look into Google today to know how to construct a house. Okay. And I can go and construct on my own. Why you require a civil engineer? Why you require a builder? Right? Because I don't want to take risks because I'm putting 1 crore or 1.5 crore in a property. So just by reading Google, I don't want to go and construct my house on my own. But when it comes to investment, I'm putting. But please understand, finance is a profession. You will understand when the mistake is very costly. Take advice from qualified or experienced professionals. Okay. Money mistakes can be very costly. Many people who come to me, or they will come at the verge of collapse. Okay. Because when you make small mistakes, it will not hurt you. For a simple reason, I'll tell you one simple. Everyone is conscious about health. Okay. Someone will tell, see, I go for walk. Another person is going for a walk. Okay. But I am healthy at the age of 30. Okay. When he becomes 35 also, he will tell, see, this fellow from last 5 years is going on a walk. I don't go for a walk, but still I am healthy. Right. At 35 years also, he will not go for a walk. At 40 years, what will happen? Suddenly there would be a heart attack or some health issues pops up. Do you think that health issue has come because of one day or 10 years of not taking care of health? Can I have answers? Health issues, does it come on only one day? One day of not going for a walk, or a continuous bad habits? Right? If I go and eat, it is accumulated over years, right? If I go and eat on a fast food or a junk food in one day, nothing will happen. But if I keep doing that, at one point in time, I will break. Similarly, when you make one money mistake, nothing will happen. But if you make series of money mistake, at one point you will realize that you have made a blunder, but it becomes too late to rectify. Okay. So we don't know when we make one small mistake. When I go and eat a junk food, it doesn't affect me on one day. Okay. That doesn't mean that I'm doing good thing. Similarly, when it comes to managing money, many people are blindly putting their investment. They're making continuous small errors, which is not affecting them. But one day when they broke, that is where they realize it's all because of the accumulation which has happened. So whenever you are don't take advice from unqualified people. I come across many people telling that my friend told me to invest in this, I invested. Who is your friend? He is an engineer. He would have read few articles and taking a call. Okay. Then whom you will blame? It is a profession. Go to an expert or qualified person so that you will be better off. Okay. So if you start listening to people, who are not qualified and who are just doing anything, and you also randomly do that, then you should go through that consequences. So again, to give a recap, secure your family financial well-being, adequate health insurance, insure valuable assets. Okay. This make sure that this is the most important thing. Have a term insurance. In case of your absence, family will not suffer. Have health insurance in case of any medical expenses, big expenses, you will not be worried or you will not be financially broken. Okay. And other assets, this everyone does because of regulatory requirement. For many people, their car is more valuable than their life. They take car insurance, but not their life insurance, term insurance. Okay, have an emergency fund. Avoid too many bank accounts and credit card, because I see many people making this mistake. Have one or two cards, have one or two bank accounts, and track properly. Unnecessarily don't have account just because everyone is ready to open. Okay, so now every bank you go, they will give you a credit card. Every bank will want you to open an account. Okay, that is not for your good. That is for their requirement. Avoid personal and consumer loans. Just because you are getting a loan, zero EMI, no one will give you zero interest loan. Everywhere you see advertisement 0% loan. Just think how someone can give you 0% loan. Okay, there is nothing called 0% loan. Only thing is you don't know where is the hidden charges. Okay, so don't get into those kind of advertisement and lured by that and go and end up buying it. Spend on needs and control on wants. Okay, know the difference between these two. Don't just save, invest, put your money in right places, invest smartly, always have a financial coach or an expert who can guide you. Okay, so these are my contact number. If anyone wants to get in touch, you can get in touch. So that's all from my end. Any questions? We can take it. So any questions we will be, we can answer.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if I want to invest in mutual fund and equity, how much percentage I have to allocate?
See, it's not like that. See, at the end of the day, your investment horizon matters. Okay, if you are young, you can invest more into equities. Okay, if you are old, if you are close to retired, then volatility, whether you will be able to take it, that depends.
Means is it safe to invest in equity or FD? Or how much percentage I can allocate for FD and equity?
There's nothing called safe in finance. Even your bank FD is not safe.
Okay, thank you.
Every asset will come with volatility. Okay, you need to understand it. Okay, and then invest. So we can, you can get in touch. So individually, you can speak on individual asset. But remember, there is nothing called guarantee in finance. Even your bank FD is not secure. You will get an insurance of 5 lakh rupees on your bank FD. Even you keep 1 crore, tomorrow if bank collapses, you will get only 5 lakh rupees.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak. Any other questions? Hope the presentation was useful.
Yes, definitely. So, anybody want to speak with the speaker? You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Somebody has one question. Lalita Ramesh, what about gold as safe avenues of investment?
See, gold generally always, historically always moves with inflation. So India's inflation has been close to 6 to 7%.
Yes.
That means on average, every 10 years, gold price will increase, double, like 10 to 12 years. So today, if it is 50,000, in next 10, 12 years, you can expect approximately close to 1 lakh rupees. Okay, that trend will be always there because gold is, and also it's considered a safe haven, inflation asset. Okay. So if our inflation reduces going forward, even gold price rise will reduce.
Even every day it fluctuates. So like
and it's highly volatile asset. Only thing is that we don't see the price. Like stock market, gold also goes up and comes down. So what happens? We buy gold and we keep it in locker for the price. So that is where the problem comes.
Yes.
So if I buy a share, I will see every day. I want to see what is the price up or down. But when I buy gold, you will just look for gold price when you want to buy. If you decide next month you want to buy gold, from today 1 month you will track. The day after you buy, you will never touch or see the gold price until next gold when you want to buy.
Correct.
Okay. So it is the risk is about emotional management.
Yes.
How much comfortable we are emotionally with that asset. So that's why equities are good for long term, because you don't have to worry whether market goes down or up for a longer term. But if you go and see every day, then it may not be suitable for you.
Any more questions?
See, all assets have their own positive, their own negative. You need to look at your requirements and then invest accordingly. Okay, that as simple as that. Every gold also has a positive, negative. Equity has a positive, negative. Bonds have a positive, negative. Real estate has its own positive, negative. You need to look at your financial circumstances and you need to choose what is good for you. So that's why I tell, my friend has bought something, you should not buy it. Your friend's financial situation is different, your financial situation is different. Okay, so
Sir, once again, Deepak sir.
yeah.
Sir, health insurance, while choosing health insurance, how much I have to take and what are the factors I should consider, sir, while taking health insurance?
Health insurance, generally a coverage of 10-15 lakhs would be decent for a family coverage if you are young. If you are aged, then obviously you might top it up to 20-25 lakhs if you are 50 plus kind of thing. If you are young, I think 10-15 lakhs should be decent. Okay, the rough estimate can be whatever your annual salary into once or twice. If your annual salary is like 10 lakhs, you can make a 10-15 lakh coverage 20 lakhs. If your annual salary is 1 crore, okay, you will also end up going to bigger hospitals, right? So then automatically, because everything will depend on your lifestyle. So then you also take a higher coverage if your salary is high. From tax perspective, up to 25,000, you get tax benefit under 80D. Okay. So on health insurance, the premium up to 25,000. So you can get tax benefit plus you protect your family.
Okay, thank you, sir.
One more question. Do you recommend any companies share for long-term investment? Lalita.
Yeah, ma'am, no. I don't recommend any shares. I don't recommend people investing in equity markets directly itself, unless you understand, you believe, because tips are very expensive. So tips are not cheap. So many people don't realize that. Just in CNBC or an Economic Times, someone tells buy this share. It may not make sense because his horizon is different, his risk appetite, what he is spending might be different.
Yes.
Okay. So that is not advisable. You need to invest only when you have knowledge. You understand and take that investment. Yeah.
Anybody else? You want to ask a few more questions?
Great. I have left my contact number. So anyone wants any question, feel free to get in touch. Okay. So great. That's. I think we can.
Prashant?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, this is Prasanna.
Yeah.
What is the difference? You can throw some light on the debt market or equity market. I'm just confused.
No, see, the one is you can see if your friend is running a business, right? So one is you can lend him money, you can give him a loan, or another thing you can tell that I will be partner with you. Okay. So when you are lending money, what you are telling, I will lend you money, you pay me back my money with interest, right? How your friend runs the business, it is not your relevant for you because you have lent money. Understanding? But if you are a partner, profit or loss both belongs to you. When you are investing in equity, you are becoming owner. So when you become an owner, there is nothing called guarantee. You make a profit, you will get your share. If you make loss, you will have to bear the loss. But when you lend as a debt is nothing but bond. When you are lending money to bank, you call it as bank FD. When you're lending money to government, you call it as NSE or KVP. Okay. When you are lending money to corporate, we call it as bond, corporate FD or bonds. So when you are lending money to government or lending money to bank, and you are not telling bank what to do. You give deposit, bank can lend to anyone, right? Bank can do whatever they want with their money. At the end of the day, they will give you whatever the interest they have specified, if they are in good condition. In case if they are in trouble, you will not get back your interest and principal. As simple as that. When you give money to your friend on a loan, he makes more profit, he will not give you more profit to you. Whatever agreed interest, he will give you. But if he gets into loss, your money is lost. Both principal and interest. Getting? So whenever you are lending money, you should pray that to whom you have given money, he does well. Okay. So if you are an equity owner, you are the owner. Both profit belongs to you, loss belongs to you. That's all difference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I request Dr. Ramchandra CG, the Managing Trustee of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, to summarize today's webinar.
So first of all, let me thank the Mr. Veerappan. So this is the third time he's coming to us and sharing his knowledge and valuable time with us. I thank him once again for his wonderful knowledge sharing. And coming to today's topic, actually we have taken so this particular topic because it is a need of the day as well as a need which is required for 2021. As I told at the beginning, so because of this pandemic situation, so most of us, especially salaried people, so we face a lot of problem because every month to month expenses there itself we are managing it. So because of this so sudden which has happened, so even though it has affected the entire globe, individually it has affected us also. Okay. At least now onwards, what are all the tips or the information and resolution he has given, we should keep follow it one by one so that we can achieve financially healthy. So that is what the requirement. So he started his the presentation with the motivation for money resolution. So with the motivation like peace of mind which is required and living in debt-free life. So here most of us we are lagging, I think, and eliminating financial worry due to unforeseen expenses. So unforeseen expenses, it is inevitable in some of the cases. So we need to eliminate those financial worries and getting control of daily expenses. So we should have a track or we should see to that the daily expenses and we should control it. So then automatically you said the peace of mind, so automatically it will come to us. So this is his motivation he started. And regarding wealth, he told, so whatever we have that we have to protect ourselves, and a future we should grow our wealth. So this is how we can maintain the wealth. And 10 resolutions, the tips he has given that we need to make so that we can achieve financial health. So like your secure your family finance, financial well-being, he told this is the first step that we have to start up with. And second, he told health cover, so it is required. So just now he told, he has answered one question. So at least for a group insurance, whether your company gives or yourself you own this health cover, it is very, very important. So we cannot expect anything nowadays. So that's why we should go for health cover, and even tax benefit also will get up to 25,000, he told. Insurance valuable assets, all your home, suppose you are taking home loan, so you have to take the insurance, and vehicle loan we should take insurance. So this is what I has told. And in the next the resolution have an emergency fund at least 6 months, he told. So most of us are failing in keeping this the 6 months emergency fund at least now onwards. So 1 month, 2 months like that, so we can accumulate this emergency fund. Definitely it will help us in future if any pandemic situation arises. So avoid too many credit cards and bank accounts. This is what most of us we do mistakes. So whichever the bank we have, and if they offer free credit cards, we'll give, sir, without any annual maintenance charges and all. So we'll first buy it. Whether we required or not, we'll buy it and keep it with us. So later they start putting the annual maintenance charges, this and that charges and all. So later we'll come to know about it. And even more bank account means more minimum balance. That's what clearly told. Minimum balance we need to maintain, even for checkbook and other the transactions also. So we should avoid salaried account or any other important account you can keep. Avoid personal loan, consumer loan, because personal loan means that the EMI you have to pay more. So more and more you pay, your the principal won't come down. This is the specialty of personal loan. So interest you have to pay more, and spend on needs and control on wants. So here, fine tuning we have to do in our lifestyle. Whatever it is required, which will fulfill our need, we should concentrate, and first preference we should give, and we should avoid unnecessary wants that exist. Okay, and he clearly mentioned with example, don't just save. It all you invest, so that it can enhance your the saving. And invest smartly is sold. The smart means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. These 5 things we have to keep in our mind while investing it. Where you are investing, how much appreciation you will going to get. All these things we have to check. Just you should not get the information from your friend or your relative. So you should survey, or you should. That's what the last one he told. So invest in right assets. That is very, very important, as well as financial coach is required. Okay, you ask the person who is expert in that. So then only you can get the right information. That is very, very important. So the entire information given by him, it is need of the day, as I told at the beginning. Everyone, at least if not all 10 resolution, at least one at a time we can able to complete this resolution. So definitely we can achieve the financially healthy at least before the end of this 2021. So I thank everyone for all the participant for joining us and listening to his valuable speech. Once again, I thank everyone. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Now it is the time to express our gratitude. I thank today's speaker, Mr. Ravi R. Ayyappan, the chartered financial analyst, financial risk manager, and founder of merafunds.com, for accepting our invitation to be the resource person of today's person and delivering a wonderful session on money resolution for financially healthy 2021. Thank you very much, sir.
And thanks, Prashant. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. I thank Dr. Ramchandra CG, the Managing Trustee, Sanatana Sampradhisthana, and Dr. Raghavan Prasad MD, President, Dinesh Kumar, Secretary, Rotary Club of Mysore West, for their involvement in organizing this webinar. I also thank Sri Lokesh CG, President, Dr. Shantaraj RS, and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, Board of Trustees, Sanatana Sampradhisthana, for the support extended in organizing this webinar. Finally, I thank all the participants for your active participation in the webinar. Thank you, Ananda. Have a nice day.